Hello, welcome back to the channel where we are building a video game from scratch using Love2d and Lua. Yesterday we got our alternate tunics rendering here, so here is the yellow tunic on Tashio here. And we can come in here into our player class and we can equip whatever tunic we want. So it's like if we want to see what the blue one is, we can equip the blue one and see what it looks like. So that's working okay. We need to tie it in with our actual inventory here so that when we select it here, it'll actually apply it. And then one other thing we have to do as well is if you look at when we fall, our tunic falls off of us because it's not rendering the falling animation. It's just rendering the default animation frames. So we need to make some falling corresponding outfits to kind of layer on as well as the normal standing ones. So we'll tackle it one at a time here, and we'll try to see if it's as simple as I think it is, which I think all we have to do is save an alternate atlas and pull in. If we open up what our falling atlas looks like, I want to say it's called falling. Yo, what up, Salto? How's it going? What does it look like if you disable the overlay? So it'll just be the default falling animation if we just disable the overlay here, and that's right here. It'll just look like this, which is his default outfit. Yo, what's up, Salto? It's so good to see you here, dude. Hope you're doing well. So yeah, we've got. We'll need to do an overlay for the falling animation too, because when we go to oh, and Salto, while you're here, one thing I thought of is that this frame right here reminds me of Ponyo when she's like in her like fishy form. Like her little like tadpole form. So like that one right there always reminds me of Ponyo. But yeah, we'll just need to, because right now we're basically saying, hey, take our current frame, and if there's an overlay, go ahead and overlay the given frame for the matching walking and idle animations. But we aren't doing that for the falling animation. So we have to do, since the tunic overlays aren't tied to the animation that we're currently at, we might have to just do it based on the Boolean falling. But now I'm kind of curious if there is a way that we could just say tie it to the animation class, but I don't think that it can work like that, because all an animation class is what current frame we're at, what texture we render the quad at, and the size. So I don't think there is a way to actually kind of tie it into the animation class, but we should be able to make different layers for this guy. So let's start with yellow since we're already here. Yeah, I don't know if I like this method. It makes more sense if it's just the idle and walk. Because also, if we have a death animation, we'd have to do the same thing here where we have to make an overlay for the death animation. But I guess it's okay. It's better than stacking all the atlases, making a bunch of different atlases for it. So I think it's okay. I'm hoping I can get to the lute today, so that we can add the lute item so that we can equip it, and it'll work just like the overlay. The render order will just be after the close, and then we can equip a lute, and then we can start working on toggling our lute system on our mobile deployment. Okay, so there's yellow. Now if we look at what just the overlay is, it looks pretty wild, but overlaid on the falling Tashio, it should look fine. So we'll call this yellow fall. Let's try it just for yellow and make sure it works, and then we'll go and do it for the rest of them. So falling sheet, and this is yellow tunic. Okay. So we should be able to pull it in here as a quad. We'll do it after the character fall here. We need to pull the texture first, so we'll do that here. Okay, there is our texture, they call it, in Love2d, and then we'll have to get a corresponding quad for it. Okay, so we should have it imported now. I think we're missing a comma somewhere. 86. Yeah, missing a comma here. Okay, so we don't crash. Let's change our tunic back to yellow so we can test it on the fall. What am I doing? Yeah, part of me still thinks we can tie it to the animation, because when we go to change animation, we just say, hey, you know, if we're in the fall zone for a long enough period of time, go ahead and trigger a fall and change our animation to be falling. But that animation is one layer. Yeah, I feel like we'd have to do it the module way anyway, or the overlay way anyway. So let's just try it here. We have in our... Would it be a walk state? Let me see if we're falling, because there should be its own state, right? Like, it's not... we don't even have the state that our character's in at the moment. Okay, well, let's imagine it's the walk state. So let's go find our player's walk state. Yeah, see, look, in our walk state, we're saying, hey, if we're not falling, you're going to change the animation to our walk. We probably should, yeah, we probably should just have a different state for it. Yeah. So here we're saying, okay, snag our current animation for our player. Let's render the default sprite, and then we have a big else if block here for if any of those tunics are equipped. But we want to do, you know, if our player's falling, then we have to also do this check to draw our falling overlay. So we're gonna say, hey, if we're falling, then if our yellow tunic is equipped. See, and this is why I think we should switch it over to another state, so that it's just like not all bogged down in the walk state, because we shouldn't be asking if we're falling at all times in the walk state. We should just trigger a fall, and then we can say, okay, well now what's equipped? Then render the overlay if something is equipped and we're falling. So I probably do want to change that. This would be character fall, yellow tunic. Okay, so if we're falling and our yellow tunic is equipped, see, but we want to do this, all of this stuff if we're not falling. So we can say if we're falling, what we could do is say, if we're not falling, go ahead and render this stuff. Otherwise, we can say here, else this would mean that we are falling. Then we check equipped for our falling. Okay, so now we shouldn't be rendering the yellow tunic for our standing if we're falling, and we should be rendering the fall overlay if we're actually falling. Okay. Let's see if that works. Nice. Yeah, it worked. Sweet. Okay, so there's our yellow. Now I do think, before I forget, I'm going to leave us a note to say to like refactor that into its own state, because it shouldn't, the character fall logic for rendering shouldn't exist in the player walk state. We really should become a fall state, so we will change that. Let's see, is there a to-do? Here. We'll say add player fall state. And it'll just clear up our walk state a bit, because we really shouldn't be worried about which fall texture to render in our walk state. It's just bogging it down. But it works for now, so we'll get the other colors in there, and then we'll see if we can get the lute equipped today. So that would be cool. So now that we've got yellow fall, let's duplicate. This will be green. I know there's probably a way to like search and replace a certain palette, right? And I don't know that in Sprite. I'm sure there is. I'm not dead set on the belt colors either just yet, but that's an easy fix if we want to update it. Okay, so there's our green fall. Let's go ahead and export it. All right, and then we need a red fall. Yeah, it'll be sweet once the inventory system's working on mobile. It'll just feel a little more complete. And if we can play lute on mobile, that would be really sweet. So that'll be a good... Once we get mobile and inventory working on mobile, we'll be at a good spot to add some more new features. I don't know if it'll be... I don't know if the move is to develop our new spells, or I feel like I want to get dungeons and cabins rendering, right? So like if we walk into a cabin, I want to transition into a different atlas for the overworld. So we'd have to worry about how to trigger certain scenes, because and what's interesting is like my game here is only really, it only ever really knows about the current map and the next map if we're in a transition. So how to load like a specific, like if we walk into the tavern and we'd want to load a specific indoors outside of our overworld map, we'd have to come up with some way to trigger, like maybe we just have an ID with a grid position for our dungeon map overlay, and we can say if we trigger a scene transition inside whatever grid, we can look up in the table, say, hey, what other scene is in this grid, and the only other, like, I guess it depends if we want other more than one scene transition to be triggerable in a single scene view. But I think that would be a nice next step to get, so that we can walk in the tavern and design a little tavern with some NPCs in there. Because we have NPCs, so now we can kind of place them inside the cabins and or a little dungeon, because we have like a little hole in the wall that we can walk into, so we can worry about making a little, just like a little one scene explorable dungeon. And then maybe we can work on some lighting effects for the yellow tunic, because the yellow tunic has like a light emitting from it. So like each tunic has like some kind of buffs you can get. I want to say red is strength, so that you can push stuff around, or red is resist, so that you can resist the lava environment without melting. And then green is strength, so that you can push items around, like push boulders and crates and stuff. And then yellow is light for caves, and then blue lets you swim. So swimming is going to be tough, because we have a whole thing preventing us from swimming right now. So that'll be tough, but that'll be cool. Okay, here's our red fall. Did we export this already? I do also want to see if we can come up with a way to do like a monochromatic shader for it, so that we can turn it into like a Game Boy style like monochromatic scale. But that's like that can wait. You know, that's not on the list of important stuff to do. Okay, there is our blue fall tunic, and we will save it as a PNG. Falling sheet blue tunic here. Okay. Okay, there's all of our textures. We'll make sure we have the character fall yellow, red, green, blue, character fall yellow, red, green, blue. Here we go. Let's substitute our yellow for red, yellow for green. Okay, so we should have them all imported at this point. We can do the nested else if block here, so we make sure we only trigger one of them. Else if okay, we have blue, red, green, yellow, so let's just keep that. Blue, red, green, and yellow. Okay, so let's test it out. We should be fine with yellow. Yellow seemed to work. That looks fine. Let's do blue. Okay, blue works. Try red, and then green. Yep, red looks working. The green looks a little too minty to me, but it's working. Yeah, like one weird thing is the element. We're still rendering our element even though we're falling. And it's weird that it gets so confused. I don't get why it kind of flips out there. I would think that it would stay pretty stationary because the player X and Y kind of gets locked once we trigger a fall. So it's kind of weird to me that it kind of animates all weird like that. But I do think it looks cool, so I think I might keep. I'll keep it for now. But we might end up switching that. Okay, so we've got our falling tunics stuff equipped. Let's go ahead. I'll just put on blue for now. Okay, so let's try to give ourselves a lute. So right now we have berries and baggies that we can swap between and equip and take it into the play state. But we need a sort of... right now the items... The key item, which is the spellcast element, is rendering in our hand if it's equipped. But right now, if our normal item is equipped, nothing changes on the render. So we have to add a lute as an item that we can equip. And then if it is equipped, add our overlay for the render so that we can see our character holding it. Just fix the Jimmy cam there. Okay, so let's take a look at how we're doing the items in our inventory here. We have a inventory class, and we have a item class as well. And at the moment, we're kind of saying there's a default item that gets placed into every grid of our item inventory. So we have an item inventory and a key item inventory. So we're saying the ID for every item right now is just a baggie, but then we're coming in here and manually changing the image to be a berry or changing the quantity. So ideally we would come in here and kind of, as we pick up an item, we would go and insert the correct type, quantity, and image for whatever it is the thing you picked up. But right now we just kind of are hard coding in some item stuff in here. So there's no difference between a berry and a bag right now, other than we're just overriding. Yeah, there's really no difference. So let's just get we'll get the resolution here of, I think I did a 16 by 16 for a baggie. I feel like we might need bigger for a lute. Let's see here. Bag. Yeah, 16 by 16, I think. I think it's okay for the... I think it's probably okay for the musical items to be a bit bigger. Maybe I'll see if I can get away with the 16 by 16. Yeah, maybe I'll see if we can get away with it, and if not, maybe we make it a little bit bigger, but let's see here. It's probably going to look like a harp, right? It's going to be tough to make this thing. We want like a wood color, like a natural kind of wood color. Yeah, this is going to be tough. If we do it straight up, what's so crazy is, like, you know, if we have like 1 pixel black as the string, then we need a 1 pixel transparent in order to distinguish the strings, which means that we're using half of our real estate just to identify 4 different strings. So we might have to get a little creative with it. I want like an oval shape like this for the body. Oh god. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like we might need more pixels than this. Oh. Yeah, it doesn't really read like a lute. I mean, it's not awful. Just looks like a blob. Yeah, let's see if maybe we can get more detail out of the 24 by 24. This is just too teeny. I don't hate it, but when it's shrunk down, actually, it doesn't look too awful. But I'm not going for it doesn't look awful. I'm going for it looks good, you know. I don't hate this actually. Yeah, I don't yeah. Maybe we'll just see what it looks like in the inventory and see if I really don't like it or not. Okay, whatever. Let's see what it looks like. That's like one of my kind of pet peeves if people are like if I ask them about a movie or something and they're like, "Well, I didn't hate it." It's like, well, that's all you got to say is you didn't hate it? So it's like when I'm talking about my art, I'm like, well, I don't hate it. It's like, well, that's not good enough. Just not hating it isn't good enough, right? Okay, lute PNG. Okay, for single sprites like this, we don't really have a tile sheet or texture. We've just been kind of putting them in like this. Okay, so if we have a global lute drawable, and then in our items, it should be in our inventory class. Right now there's no lute item, but we can just change the image that we're rendering for it. So we can say, you know what, this item in the third row, second column is going to be our lute. So let's see. There we go. We'll see. Okay, argument 1 in item 50. We have to be able to say... Oh. 50, 50, 50. Draw self.image. Self.image. Self.image gets lute. Okay, why are we crashing here? Bad argument 1, drawable expected in item 50. So where's our berry? Where do we define our berry? Well, yeah, we just do. Oh, we have to require it before our item class is what it is. Because our item class doesn't know that global because it's not defined yet, so we have to put it up here. Okay, there we go. We've got a little lute. I kind of like it. I think if we give ourselves like little tuning strings, I think it'll look a little better. Too much. Too much. I don't know if I like the tuning strings over there. Let's see how that looks. I think I just don't like... I think it can afford to be... I don't know, it almost looks like... I don't think it looks bad. I just think maybe the roundedness of it needs to come across better on the bottom half there. Because this isn't really doing it for me. It should be more round here, I think. Because, you know, like, lutes kind of have that, like, chunky bottom, you know? That's not what I wanted. Yeah. Oh, it looks pretty close. Yeah, it's got that chunky bottom. It is more round, more flat on the bottom, so maybe I can go, well... Yeah, I don't know. It's starting to look like a Stratocaster or something, if I point that out. The fretboard, maybe the fretboard could be the darker color and have the short neck there. And maybe that'll sell the illusion a bit better. So maybe the strings are a lighter color and the fretboard is the darker color. That might help sell it a bit. So let's try that. Just doesn't. It looks way worse. It's just that there's no... It's just so tiny. It's way too tiny to put detail in here. This is pretty close though. I like this. I would like if we can get the flat fret. The fret top of the tuning pegs are kind of like bent, but we don't have any real estate to kind of bend it. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, ideally, I think I want it bent. Maybe we can make the lute a little wider than the other items. I'm not completely sold on the 16 by 16 for the items. So maybe we can just make it a bit wider. Oh, it was 12. Oh. Okay, canvas size. Let's go 16 wide. That's looking better. Yeah, we probably won't need that many either. Let's try to get the curved. I don't know if that's more readable or not. Maybe if it was a darker brown for the tuning pegs. I don't know. It doesn't read very well. Let's see how this looks and see if it looks better. I'm not so sold on it. It does look better. It does look better now that it's tinier here. Yeah. Yeah, it's just the center. It's so tough because like the center looks like a square because it literally is a square. We can't round out the center acoustic hole or whatever it's called. Yeah, that just gets so messy. This is close though. I'm liking this. I'm liking it. I'm thinking we can kind of afford to maybe make the bass a little bit wider. shit. Wow, pixel art is something else. It's like that just loses all of the oval shape. The oval shape was only kind of working when we crammed it in the corner like that. So let's just keep that for now. We'll do canvas size of a 14. Okay, I'm liking that. And then the other tough part, the tougher part is we have to do the overlay for this lute in our character's hands if it's equipped. So our total Tashio character is only 16 by 16, and that's about what this resolution is. So I'm quite worried about making a readable lute on top of our 16 by 16 character. We might do it where it's pretty visible on the profiles, but if he's facing you, it's off to the side, so you can still see Tashio. And then maybe we'll do it where if you actually use the lute, it'll snap to a different frontal of him holding the lute, like with his hands on it or something, so it looks a little more like he's actually playing it. But I'm worried that when the lute's equipped, it'll look really messy if we don't do something like that. So we'll have to see. Did I save this? But yeah, we'll see if we can get overlay working for it, because we've got it there. It looks like a guitar, right? Most people would say it looks like a guitar, but I like the curved neck there, like the traditional lute. So I do like that. I think it looks pretty good. It's a good starting point, at least. Kind of reminds me of an avocado, the shape of it. It's okay. It looks good. Okay, so let's see how we might overlay it with our character here. That's going to be tough. So there's our atlas. So see, I'm thinking like maybe, he'll be holding it off to the side, like here. Because the thing with this overlay method, we can't really manipulate the base layer of Tashio, so we'd have to kind of put it over. And then I'm thinking, when he's facing left or something, it'll be, gosh, it's gonna be really tight to try to get this readable. Let's see. Oh, okay. Dude, this is gonna be impossible. Like, at the bareness of it, like if we just try to draw the outline of it, it's like, okay, there's a lute, like here he's holding, and it comes out here. That's tough. Let's see what the frontwards one might look like. It would be off to the side like this. And then coming... Gosh, see, and I don't want it covering his face. Wow. This is going to be weird. I'm going to snag the real color we use for it and just see if we can get... Like, if we can just have it where he's like... holding it off to the side. But his hand would have to be in front of it. So we'd have to kind of put it under his hand like this. I kind of like this. Let's see if we put the strings in there. It just doesn't quite read as the lute, but there's not much we can work with here. Like when he's facing right, it'll be on his right side. Hey TK, what's up? We are in Lua, yes. Just today is more pixel art, so haven't done too much Lua. But hey, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Yeah, we post all our source code if you want to peep out the source code. It's all in Lua over there. We're trying to add holding a lute to our character here, which is proving to be really difficult with a 16 by 16 limit. If we can get the profile, or if we can get, the side profile to be pretty readable that it's a lute, I think it'll help sell the downwards one. Because like that looks like a satchel or something, like you can't really tell what he's holding. But if by the time he faces one way and it looks like he's holding a lute, that's a tough sell. That's a tough sell. It's got to be really, really readable. Yeah, that might be a good call, because the brown is a little too close to his skin color. Yeah, that might be a good call. Let's see if we can get a roundish. It's so tough. I mean, that's not awful. It's just that. Okay, I mean, if we really go with like a kind of simplified guitar look where it's like just a circle of wood with a hole in the middle, it might be okay. God, but we can't even do like a circle. God, so few pixels to work with. I don't know. Part of me feels like it'd have to go just like the person kind of just has to use their imagination like that. If that's all it is, does it look enough like a lute if you go in there and equip it? This needs to be better. Yeah, you know, well, what's tough is that I really do want to keep it to our whole game is rendering at the Game Boy resolution and all the sprites are 16 by 16. So if I stretch it, it'll stretch beyond the character. So I'm trying to not do that. But it really is so tough to make this readable with this limitation here. This one doesn't look bad to me. I think that one actually looks kind of good. I'm thinking we might just have to ask the player to use their imagination a bit. Like, I think if you equip a lute and his profile looks like that after you equip it, I think it might be readable enough. Dragon Warrior 3, I'll have to look at that. The right now it's modeled after Link's Awakening, but I'm looking up Dragon Warrior 3 right now. Shit. What did I just do? Here. Okay, hey, yeah. I like how some of these guys are, you know, they're not square. So they're a little taller than the 16 by 16. So it's like if we wanted our main character, though, I really do want our main character to be the square. All of our NPCs right now are 16 by 16, but I can imagine where we make some bosses taller like this. This is cool though. Yeah, I like this. I like the animals they've got. Like the horse looks pretty awesome, and the tiger and the cat, those all look good. I've never played that game. That looks fun. But yeah, this is looking good to me. This one. These two are looking fine to me. It's just that maybe... Let's see here. Okay. Then we can have... Yeah, if we can get this one looking okay. This looks bad still. Tales of Fantasia. No, I haven't heard of that. GBA, Tales of Fantasia. I'll look that up. I have not seen this. Okay. Is this a turn-based RPG sort of deal? Looks pretty sweet. I've never even heard of it. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I wonder if I can snag a copy of that over at my local store. I finally beat Metroid Fusion. Finally. Like, Metroid Fusion was the first Game Boy... Well, I know it's not a Game Boy SP game, but it's the first game I played on the Game Boy SP at like a GameStop way back when. And then my dad bought me a Game Boy SP because I loved playing that demo so much. But I never had Metroid Fusion. I never owned it. So I didn't end up beating it until I just borrowed a copy from my friend, and then I sat there and finally beat it. So now, you know, from the first time I played it to when I beat it was like a, who knows what, 15-year gap. Whenever the SP came out in what, like 2003 or something? Yeah, I'll have to check it out. That looks cool. I'm interested in the unique ways of kind of doing combat and stuff, so sounds pretty sweet. See, I don't want it covering his face. I don't want it covering his face. But also, if it just sticks out to the side, I can't get the right shape. Shit. It's tough. It's almost like we have to think about... Because I think what makes these ones work... Like, that looks fine to me. I think that's readable enough. I think that's fine. Because, like, here's how it looks when you go to equip it. You go pull open your inventory, and you come down here and equip it. So if you go down there and equip it, and then all of a sudden you see this one on the side profile, I think that's pretty readable. Like, it looks like what you equipped. So I think that's okay. It's just that the frontwards one is really tough. So I think it might need to be more head on, like towards the camera. Because then if it's towards the camera, it won't be so readable, but it'll look like almost like a satchel over his shoulder, but it'll be, let's see. Yeah, like if it only came out to here. Yeah, let's see if we can get, if it only ever came out to there. But we give it some other colors. See, but his hand would be like right there, covering the hole. And then this would be the string. It's just not so... Yeah, the front on really looks strange. Super tough. Super tough. Maybe we do have it kind of come in front of his face a little bit. I don't know. Let's see if we can pull, like, if we can pull this in and kind of half the size of it and just see what it looks like over his face. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it will. It really would just be right in front of his face. It just looks so weird. It can't be covering his face like that. Yeah, that can't work. But the colors here don't look atrocious. It just doesn't look like a lute in his hand there. But it's tough because he's also got like a spell cast in his other hand, and it's just like a little 2x2 pixel. So he's like, see how he's holding the orb here, and then if he's got a lute equipped in the other. Yeah, that's something I really underestimated, how tough 16x16 was when I started this project. Zelda makes it look so easy to develop 16x16, but it is so tough. Okay. Maybe it just doesn't look like the right shape. I think that's the closest I've gotten where I like it on the front, but it's not very readable. But then again, if it looks good, on the profile like this, and it looks good when you equip it, I think people's brain might forgive. Because, I mean, there's a bunch of Game Boy art that is like, you know, it's not super readable, but they're going for like a weird crocodile, and it doesn't, your brain can kind of fill in like, hey, no, that is a crocodile. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's only so many pixels. Like, I think our brain is okay at kind of filling in some of the gaps there. But maybe it's not quite where I'm happy with it. That's looking close. Yeah, that's looking pretty close, actually. Because you can see, like, with the square there, it looks like it's the guitar hole. There's got to be a name for that guitar hole, right? It's not. I'm sure the technical term is not guitar hole. Sound hole. Really? The hole in the top of a guitar is called the sound hole. Okay. So yeah, the S hole. That's looking pretty close, actually. I like that. We do lose the chin here, but like we lose the black distinction there for his face, but we gain some shape for the lute. If we were to remove that, actually, yeah, that doesn't look too bad. Okay, it's looking close. right? He'll just transform into it. Well, so I think there's going to be 4 different instruments in the game, and I can show what the lute looks like here. Like when we play it, it'll bring up. It's almost like Guitar Hero. So there's like frets and strings you can play. The only thing is it doesn't work on touch for the for the Game Boy deployment. It's only working with the keyboard. So once we get this working, we'll be able to play it on the web deployment. And it's actually online right now. If you go to Tashio.dev, you can play the current build with WASD and walk around, and then L to toggle the lute. And then I just quit it, but it's deployed there if anyone wants to play and check it out. This is looking closer. I'm liking how this is turning out. It's looking close. I'm liking it. And then the idea is we render it in layers. So the lute kind of just goes over the default sprite. And then that'll allow us to change our outfits or to equip other items. If we stay consistent with this. So I'm gonna try to mimic this one over here. I think I'm happy with that one on that side. I might be okay with this. I'd be curious what it looks like animated. I think there is a way we can do play. There's a way to animate. How do you do that? Yeah, but there's I know how to do the add a new frame and stuff, but since it's a whole sprite sheet, I'm pretty sure there's a way to say like, hey, treat this whole sprite sheet as an animation and just cycle through every 16 pixels. But then again, yeah, let's just, I don't know how to do it at the moment. And we only need the first 2, so we can do the new frame method here. What the heck? Okay. So let's... I don't even know how to add a new frame anymore. Here we go. What a mess. Okay, frame 1 and then frame 2. What's up, Magnetonics? How's it going, dude? Yeah, we're trying to get our lute equipped onto our player here, so it's really tough with the pixel limitation, but I think it's readable enough to my liking. I'm just testing out the animation here, which I cannot figure out. is going on? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think we would need to match. I think we need to match the two light grays up here, or the light browns, so that isn't so jarring. And then maybe move our sound hole over to the right. That's the technical term, sound hole. So yeah, let's get our sound hole scooted. Yeah, I don't know. The sound hole looks weird over there. Okay, that's looking better. Yeah, the sound hole probably should scoot over a bit. Because the whole lute moves right 1 pixel, and the sound hole... I guess this... Yeah, the sound hole... Actually... Yeah, actually, no, the sound hole looks like it's in the right spot. I think we can afford to erase a pixel or two on the first frame at the top there. I think we can afford to maybe get rid of this pixel and this pixel. Maybe not. Well, it's weird because it's like his shoulder should be kind of peeking through because his shoulder's coming over. So I think a pixel there looks fine. Okay. I think I'm happy with that, and I'm happy with the profile. That looks good. So now we just need a slight lute here on the right side. And maybe we just keep the shoulder and just kind of draw that it's like around it over here. Something like that. Well, it's almost like, should there be like a strap? Like he's wearing like a strap for it? I kind of like the idea of a strap like that. I think I like that. Let's see. think I like that. Okay, sweet. And then if we toggle it on and off and just kind of see. Okay. I think I'd like it. So what we can do, oh gosh, oh no, we messed this up. We have to make sure our lute layer is only lute pixels. How did we mess this up so bad? Okay, well. We just gotta erase everything that's not explicitly lute so that we can render it over the other layers. I know, I didn't think I messed up that badly. I thought I was doing it right. I didn't realize, I don't know where we went wrong with the layers, but we are definitely wrong. But yeah, I think I like the strap, and also, you know, it's just practical. If you're going to be casting magic and playing lute, you're going to want a strap. And then, yeah, I'm excited to see what it looks like when we're walking around and see if it looks good. We're about to be able to test it here. I know, it's a curse. And that's how my my map is set up. So like we can draw the tile sheets on a map. And depending on which layer you draw things at, that changes the render order, and I always mess up the layers. It's like, I don't know. I was mindful of it today, and I screwed it up still, so it's just one of those things. Okay. So we're basically only keeping pixels that are lute specific. That way we can just render it over our player. So that's kind of what our lute looks like. Wow, looks light, but if you render the player under it, you can see how it kind of fits. So let's export just this as our lute equip. Yeah, let's call it, what do we call? This will be our first item equip. So I guess we can just call it lute equip or whatever we want. Let's do lute equip. And then let's just pull it into the game and see how it looks. So if we go to our walk state for our player, we can come in here and we can draw. We'd have to import. We have to import the quads as a global texture so that we can draw it. So let's go do that. So here we'll say lute equip. Okay, lute equip gets love.graphics new image, and we'll just give it our path here, graphics, lute, equip, PNG. And then we need a... So the way this works is like we have to generate a quad, which will just give us a frame for each tile size. So like they're all 16 by 16s. So it'll give us the ability to go into our lute equip texture and go into any one of the frames. And we're basically just going to be saying, hey, go into, grab the same frame as our walk state frame for our character and just render the lute one after the character, so it kind of renders on top. So we're going to say lute equip here as the global texture and lute equip as the quad. So now that we've got that in our global table, we can come in here and say, let's just go ahead and say love.graphics draw, and we'll draw from our global textures, from our lute equip key, and we give it the quad. So from our frames, global frames table at, now this is going to be the number of whatever frame we're at for our character. So we're going to give it the texture, and actually the texture, anim texture, just the current animation is saved as anim. I don't know why we'd have to give the dot texture here. I just know that when we do get current frame, it'll get the frame that the player is at, and then it'll go into the quad. Or, see, I feel like we have to put, this is weird. For our other tunics, since we give it the global texture, the G frames is the index of whatever quad. No, it isn't. The second array there is. Let's just try it and see. Because we need the X and Y just like all of these other ones, which is we floor our X position and floor our Y position. So let's do that here. We'll say this is math.floor. Our self.player.x. And then math.floor. Player Y. Oops. Okay. Then we close this. And then we'll see if we've got our lute. This is just like, it's not asking, hey, is the lute equipped? Go ahead and render the lute. It's just, it should be just rendering it. So it's there rendering it. Okay. It's not bad. It's not bad. I don't like... Oops. And then the falling, it just gets really screwed up. We'll probably not render it at all if we're falling. Okay, what I do like, I like the lute profile that has the black outline. It really loses it for me on the other one. So we should fix that. So I really liked this one. This one looked really good. This one did not. So if we can kind of tidy up this one. I think that will look a lot better. And it is a little weird. I think one weird thing is we have a solid black line here, but our lute goes to the other side. In this one, the lute technically comes in front here at this point. So maybe we can kind of just give 1 pixel of touching here for our lute to kind of pass through. That might be okay. Yeah. And then this black pixel here, we can get rid of on the lute layer. Let's see how that looks. Okay. And so like right here, you know, we have an item and a key item equipped. So like this is kind of a lot, right? Like this is the most real estate our items will take up is a key item slot for our spellcast and an item slot like our lute. But this, I like the strap. The strap looks good. I might want a black outline for it, but we can't have, I like the strap. The strap is good. Oops. That does look a lot better. I'm happy with that on the side. Although I don't think I like 1 pixel here on the side here. I think this double line is too much. I think if we get rid of that, it'll look better. Yep, that looks more consistent. I think I like it. And then we would... I think I want to do... I don't think I like this pixel. Because this black outline is like his hand going over the lute, so I think, even though it looks a little weird, I think it'll ease up. Let's see. It's amazing how 1 pixel difference will like really draw your eye at this resolution. Every pixel like matters a huge amount. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I might want... Oh, it's so cool. I do like it. I think the sound hole might be too left. On this squatting frame. And then I think I might want the 1 more pixel on the top left on the facing down one. So I think when we're squatting, sound hole might be too left. I think if we do just 1 pixel of sound hole there, that'll be enough. And then over here, I think I want that pixel back. Okay, let's try it. So you would come in here. We're in idle state now, which is no lute equipped, but say you come in here, you go to your lute, you equip it, and then when you're walking, oh, we're losing out on our spellcast. What changed there? It's cool. I think it looks good. Yeah, I don't know if I'm sold on that pixel I added on this frame, but I think it's okay. Well, because his shoulder is supposed to come down. I think it's really missing a black outline is what I think it's missing. I don't know if we can afford a black outline. Yeah, we probably can. I think we can. We can't on the left side of this one. But yeah, I'm gonna take out. It's crazy, but yeah, I don't think that one's doing us much favors. And then let's try to add the outline here. Yeah, I'm just worried about this one. We can't have the black outline. I think it'll look really jarring without the black outline on this side. So maybe we just cut it short like this. Then we lose out. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see if that looks really wild or weird. Let's just see. You know what? Yeah, it does look a little weird. Oh, shit. What happened there? I think the outline looks fine there. And I think we don't need it there. Yeah, it's just this one I don't like. Let's see what happens if we don't do the outline here, like we give it. Let's just add this. That might look weird. Let's see. Yeah, it looks really weird. So let's get rid of the outline on the facing up one. I just don't think it looks good there without an extra frame or an extra pixel of width. Okay, for whatever reason, we're missing out on our spellcast equip when we do that. But I think this works. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so what is it? How are we unequipping our spellcast now? What is going on there? Oh, we're rendering it, well. Spellcast fire element. We turn this off. We have our spellcast element. So what if we were to say, let's render our lute first and then our spellcast element. They shouldn't overwrite. They're transparent. Yeah, see, why does that? They're still able to cast spells and hold the lute. But why is it that when we render this... Yeah, why this shouldn't get rid of our spellcast element. I don't know why that's the case, but we'll just... Okay, well, we do have it there. I'll go ahead and add this also to the idle state just for now, just for a just so that it doesn't magically appear once we start walking. But we'll have to start changing certain stuff. Like, we have to only render the lute if we're not falling, right? Because if we fall, we don't want to render the frames for the lute and have it all jacked up. So we can add that probably right now fairly easily. Let's just go to our render here. Before we render our fire spell, we'll render our lute equip. So then oh gosh, player nil value. Yeah, we have to draw not at a player.x, but at a self.entity. We should probably fix that too so we can keep that consistent. But we have it there, and our spellcast. That's sweet. So the idea here is that, like, if we wanted to come in here and be like, oh, we're gonna equip our yellow tunic, we can go into our player class and equip our yellow tunic. And we only have one atlas, but oh gosh, that's not working anymore. Yellow tunic equipped. Should be working. I think the issue here might be our anim texture in our play state, or in our player walk state. Let's see if we turn this off, if we have a yellow tunic. And we do in player walk state. So it is here. We're kind of screwing this up. Okay, this is confusing me. We should be able to render the yellow tunic. We have it equipped. It knows it's equipped. If we stop drawing the lute, our yellow tunic's equipped. Let me just double check our lute equip and make sure it's transparent. It should be. If we, oh my goodness, it is not. That's why it's overriding. What the, dude? Okay, well, the layers came in and bit us in the butt again. If we turn this off and export this as lute equip, we should be okay. So we'll save this, we'll export as a PNG lute equip, and then we should see our yellow tunic with a lute over it. Yes. Yes. And then now we can change the order in our, is this our walk state? Yeah, let's say we can get rid of this. We're gonna render, not that it really matters, but our key item and our normal item are rendered after our character. So it goes, we render our character, then we render our outfit, then we render our key item and normal item. So that's the kind of overlay for the rendering there. And then in idle state, let's make sure our idle state is doing the lute equip. Yeah, we'll just keep it consistent with the order here. Okay, so the idea is we have one atlas for our character, and every overlay is kind of just on top of that atlas. So if we wanted to go to our player class and say let's see what blue tunic looks like with the lute equipped. We don't have a lute equipped toggle just yet, but we're just rendering the lute anyway. But we're able to switch out outfits. And this is this is 4 layers right now. So it's the player, then the blue tunic, then the spellcast, then the lute. That way we can mix and match any item in our inventory. So it's like if we have the lute equipped, or if we have the yellow tunic equipped, or if we have the, red element equipped or whatever, they kind of just are able to mix and match, and we don't have to have a bunch of atlases. We're just kind of stacking the overlaid layers like that. So I think that's good. We're on the right track. We've got to do some more refactoring for the animations, I think, because right now, and we don't have, if we fall in the hole, we're gonna see our lute being rendered, and it'll look really strange. So look at this. Wow, that looks so weird. Yeah, that looks jacked up. Okay. Let's go fix that real quick, and we'll just say we'll only render our lute if we're not falling. And then same in our idle state. Although we won't be able to see that issue here. Let's see. So if we fall, yep, okay, that looks fine to me. Sweet. That looks good. Let's just add it in the idle state. I don't like that we have to do this. Well, it makes sense. We just need to toggle our idle state better, because right now, if we're not holding any inputs, we should be in idle state, but that is not the case. So we need to just toggle that better. And it's not entity idle state, it is player idle state. We'll do this only if we're not falling. So if not, self.entity falling. We'll go ahead and render our lute equip, and then we shouldn't render it if we're fallen. But we don't trigger idle state anyway, so we won't see it. But it's looking good. Nice. I do like the strap. I think the strap looks great. That's wonderful. Okay. Sweet. I think we're ready to commit here. Wow, we touched a bunch. So today we made the falling sheet animations for all our tunics. We added our lute image in our inventory, as well as our lute equip image for our character. And then we're actually equipping that lute. Now, we don't have anything in our item class to say, hey, that thing is actually a lute. We're just manually saying the image for that item is the lute image. So we'd have to add a little flag in there that says, lute equipped gets true, so that we can say, okay, if lute is equipped, then when we hit the item button with lute equipped, that will pull up our lute minigame, and then you can play on mobile, hopefully. So that'll be coming up in the next couple days here. We'll be doing that, and then we can actually play lute on touch on the web deployment. So that'll be fun. Let's look at our git diff here. So yeah, we're saying image is a lute for that item. We add our lute image, we add the quads and everything for our falling tunic sprites that we just made, and then we render our lute equip no matter what at the moment. just so we can kind of see it. But we'll add everything and commit with a message saying we added falling tunic colors, tunic overlays, added lute item, and equip to player. Sweet. So yeah, tomorrow I'll be back and we'll be doing we'll actually make the item that gets equipped a lute, so that we can say, okay, well, if B is pressed, if the item button is pressed, we need to check our inventory for what's currently equipped in our item slot and then do the appropriate thing. So if we're holding berries, it would drop a berry. If we're holding a lute, it would toggle our lute. And then we'd have to modify our lute minigame to work with the D-pad and not the keyboard. So there'll be some challenges there, but we'll get to it. All right, here I'll read out. Oh, we don't have Hypnotic is not streaming at the moment. He's usually who we raid. Let's see. Jitspo. See if Jitspo's doing some modeling stuff. Yeah, we'll raid Jitspo. He's always doing some cool stuff. Hey, thanks for hanging, Magnetonics. Yeah, you know, I do like Small Block Boy. I've already typed out Jitspo, but yeah, we'll make sure to raid him in the next coming couple streams. But thanks for hanging, dude. I hope you have a great night. Thanks for watching, everybody. Appreciate it.